It all started in the beginning of the 1990s after a number of scandals in England.
As a regulator, the Commission, with help of the Council and the Parliament, has tried to address this. Sometimes through soft law, what we prefer, or sometimes through hard legislation if we feel there's a need to really regulate this by law.
The rules, the standards and the practice of our governance in Europe, in European companies, are now at the best standard in the world.
Addressing good corporate governance practices will help corporations attract healthy capital, will help corporations become more sustainable in the long term.
These companies tend to compete with their counterparts everywhere on the globe from a very strong position.
I believe a good board is a board well composed.
Boards have to be far more diverse.
Gender, nationality, experiences.
You have to be able to discuss matters in a professional way.
It's up to the chairman to favor, to stimulate the debate.
To see to that the right questions are discussed at the right time.
An engaged board internally with the management and also externally with its investors, shareholders and stakeholders.
And creating a good relationship with these different actors.
In the end, it's a teamwork.
The role of boards and of board members has become increasingly complex.
Boards of directors are more and more under pressure from investors, from regulators.
It has become also a job which is far more time-consuming.
There is some tension between the administrative role and the strategic role of the board of directors.
Both are important. You can't neglect any one of these responsibilities.
Governance is strategic rather than a compliance exercise.
Ethics, value, reputations, trust of the public. It's a key, a strategic asset.
The complier explain principle is really an invitation to board members to think ahead and to move from a legalistic approach to a more engaged reflection.
The clarity of explanation by the boards and by the companies is what matters, rather than how these explanations are provided.
Compliance, but not compliance as a box-ticking exercise.
We work, of course, in this area with a number of stakeholders on corporate governance and company law, and ecoDa is one of them. That gives us input, suggestions, that tries to be ahead of the policy making.
I think the politicians should be more interested in education.
Not to add regulation to regulation.
It is also difficult to set hard guidelines because then you end up in a box-ticking exercise.
You can't really legislate about good judgment.
The most important is the initiative of the actors, of the professionals themselves.
Giving resources to more education and supporting national institutes of board directors.
ecoDa has set up with its members a lot of training programs.
The demand for high qualifications has come to stay, and it will increase over time.
Board members have to be aware about the new developments.
You must make sure that the boards really know what they do, that they're very professional.
They have to also learn from the others, from their peers.
At the business schools, corporate governance and board work is not the most typical subject.
And this is where the National Institute of Directors can really help them.
Professional initiative, auto-regulation, diffusion of best practices.
A platform for our members, a platform to share information.
Being able to exchange ideas, experiences.
To understand what is expected from them and what are the best practices that they should put in place.
What we did at the national level and with ecoDa at the European level over the last decade.